of We Like Shooting Double Tap is brought to you by Black Rhino Concealment, Rubber Dummies, Neomag, and Powers Group.
Welcome to We Like Shooting Double Tap, episode 99, where we answer your questions, talk about new tech in the gun world, and touch base on gun industry news. Our panel tonight is everyone's favorite gun dudes. We've got the owner and proprietor of River's Edge Tactical and Range, Jeremy Paz Derrick. The Machine Gun Moses, Aaron Krieger's here. We've got the assistant to the undersecretary of the subcommittee, Nick Lynch. My name's Sean Heron, and I want to welcome you to the show. All right, that'll do. Nick, there is definitely an odor about you.
An odor about me?
Yeah, there's an odor surrounding you.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have a question. Did your voice naturally get douchier as the show progressed?
Yes.
Or are you doing it on purpose?
No,
Okay.
Well, no. I'm doing it on purpose. I'm doing it on purpose. It's true.
I just changed the intro, so next week you'll have something different to read.
Okay, good. Well, I don't see it in there, but I will actually say this.
I will highlight it for you. Just so you know.
Someone made a point that We Like Shootings may not be a good idea, and you guys have argued this with me many, many, many times. So I actually changed it. It's We Like Shooting Double Tap, and welcome to We Like Shooting Double Tap. So now it's fixed.
Like your dog. Oh, wait, you don't have one. Never mind.
No, he did. But yeah, anyway, I guess.
Sorry.
Should we just get into it and just start talking about the show?
I guess.
Yeah, we could.
Jeremy, what voice can I do that's not annoying to you?
Probably none.
Okay, I had a feeling. First up, they've got a customer appreciation sale going on. It's 15% off the entire purchase on their website.
Wow.
The company I'm talking about is Black Rhino Concealment. I've been carrying my ACS holster for the 6-hour P365 every single day, and I absolutely love it. It's because the 6 hour is so small, I wanted to have a super small package that I can easily just throw in my pants. Yeah. God.
You already do.
I know. What can I say? But not just that. And then I carry the backup mag in my Neomag in my pocket. So go check out Black Rhino Concealment, whether you want to carry appendix with an extra mag, appendix by itself with the ACS, or the TCS, which is the total conceal system. So you can wear it outside, you can wear it inside, you can do it all at blackrhinoconcealment.com. Coupon code WLSMOFO. But right now they've got an even better sale than that going on. So go get it before it expires. It's time for this other portion of the show. Which is called Would You Rather, where Aaron posits 2 questions and we decide the best of the bad.
I thought you were going to continue talking about your small.
No, I think that's good, Jeremy. I got it covered.
With your pants.
Shut up.
Adam needed an oak leaf. He's got a pine needle.
Okay, that'll do.
Hey, would you rather shoot a 2-gauge punt gun or get punched in the stomach by Jeremy?
Well, I've been punched in the stomach by Jeremy, so I'd choose the punt gun, and not because I'm afraid of it again, but just because I like to do things that I've never tried before.
Really?
Yeah. Within reason. Yeah. I don't.
Wow, Jeremy, nice sharp nipple there.
Jesus.
That's all I can see on the screen.
And he's opening a can of chew. Aaron, which would you rather pick?
I would pick the punt gun because I don't think it would hurt as much.
So here's the thing. Maybe it was just because I was drunk, but when Jeremy punched me in the stomach, it wasn't bad. Like I was able to prepare for it and take it. Dang it. This is too much lame innuendo, but I was able to tighten my stomach muscles. He hit me and I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, that was unpleasant, but it didn't murder me. It wasn't until the next day when I was like, wow, I probably have internal bleeding. And
I mean, dude, your stomach was purple.
Dude, like it was as big as, well, not Nick's head because that's enormous, but it was as big as a child's head, and it was 17 different colors of purple, blue, and yellow, and that was the next day. It stayed for like 3.5 weeks. Like, and it was still yellow for another 2 or 3 weeks after that. I was like, what am I doing?
I read the best comeback for. So my buddy sends me this thing on Facebook, and it's like, so I'm walking through the grocery store, and some small little tweaked out man looks up at me and said, he's like, I'm like 6'6", 270, and this little tweaked out man, obviously on something, looks up and he's like, wow, you're a big son of a. And he's like, I'm used to that, so I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah, I am. And he goes, I could still take you. He goes, so I put a really, and went all 12 inches, and he got beat red and said. And he goes, that's the spirit. He goes, it was the best comeback I ever had.
Well, at least he liked it. Wait, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
How about you, Nick?
Yeah, Nick. I got so distracted. I was like, I hate this whole thing right now.
I'd probably shoot the punt gun. I mean, getting punched by Jeremy just sounds like it wouldn't really be particularly fun in any way. With the punt gun, at least you'd get to, like, blow something up or,
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I like to shoot guns for fun.
In the end, you get to shoot a punt gun.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. I definitely would. I would absolutely choose that. Jeremy, which would you rather pick?
Oh, punt gun, obviously.
Yeah. This is me like shooting.
I don't know.
Like a 2-gauge. See, here's the problem when Aaron doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. A 2-gauge punt gun's probably not going to be fired from the shoulder.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, like hip fired, right?
No, it'd be mounted on a boat.
It's on a stand.
Oh, okay.
It'd be mounted in some fashion.
I have
in the old days, though, they just had like a stick.
It'd be mounted like your mom last night.
Oh, she needs it.
Well, I mean, an actual punt gun would typically be like mounted into a boat, like a rowboat or something.
Yeah,
it just seems like a weird weapon for a boat.
Well, they were used for killing ducks and geese. So you
all the ducks and geese.
Yeah, all of them.
If anybody out there doesn't know what a punt gun is, basically imagine a giant shotgun that is capable of handling upwards of like 20 pounds of shot at a time.
Oh, okay. I have seen these. I do know. Okay.
Yeah. And then Ian actually had a 2-bore rifle on Forgotten Weapons, and so a 2-bore rifle would shoot a half-pound lead ball.
That's pretty badass. I would still shoot the 2-gauge.
Yeah, I think it weighed like 40 pounds or something.
Yeah, so
like Sean's lead,
but still. Yeah, I keep telling him he needs to get that one checked out, and he's like, no, it's fine, Nick. It's always been that way.
Is it because they're so smooth, or is it because they're weighty and hang low?
No. One of them is the size of an apple. And like a Red Delicious, not a Granny Smith.
It's just
Wait, so what you're saying, what I saw in Vegas was only one.
Yes. One of them is this big. One of them is this big.
Because it looked like a complete stack.
Right, but it's like a grape and an apple and a fruit bowl is what and you just saw the grape.
This is fun.
Which was actually probably the size of an apricot.
All right. All right, I already mentioned it. Let's talk about it a little bit more. Neomag. Nick, are you still rolling with your Rask?
I have been when I go out, which is like twice a week.
Okay.
So,
that makes sense. So yeah, the Neomag, it's a little clip that goes in your pocket and holds your mag in one place so that you don't lose it, whatever it happens to be. There's that. Yes, it's an empty mag. I threw it in this morning and didn't realize it was empty until this afternoon. But the gun's loaded, so I guess that's all that matters. But yeah, Neomag, it is a clip that goes on your magazine. It's not a clip for your clip. It's not a
clipazine.
It's not a clipazine. It has a nice titanium. I saw in your Creed video.
Yeah, and it was actually I used it unintentionally cross draw because I had something in my other pocket. The receiver for my mic
transmitter.
Okay, the transmitter because the receiver would be on the camera.
Yeah.
So the transmitter for my mic, so it was in my other pocket. But dude, it was so easy to pull it out. It worked great. I mean, if you look at it, it actually comes out pretty smoothly. They had no issue with it at all.
They're totally awesome. I was actually practicing my draw a bit at the range when we filmed, which was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. It's all starting to run together. But yeah, we filmed yesterday, practiced with it a bit. I love them. Nick's got the RASC, which is for revolver speed loading strips. And go to theneomag.com. Coupon code WLS10 gets you 10% off. This is where we talk about your questions.
Burn when you pee? Unsure about your relationship? Why can't you use 45 and a 9mm? Get your questions answered on #DearWLS. Visit WeLikeShooting.com/DearWLS to submit your question.
All right, it's where we ask the questions. Aaron, why don't you take the first one?
This one's from Pete H. Isn't that weird that H makes a sound but it has a CH and when you say it? H.
That's ache.
Yeah. Any opinions on or experience with U.S. Optic products? Not a name brand I hear mentioned when people talk about top-notch glass, but their prices are certainly up there. I always thought U.S. Optics was a wholesaler. They sold different brands. I didn't realize they had their own brand.
I always thought they made AK waffle mags.
U.S. Optics make waffle mags?
No, it's U.S. Palm, but no one got the joke, so we'll move on and pretend like it never happened.
All right.
So I've heard good things about U.S. Optics, but I have no personal experience with them. I may have looked through one or two over the years, but I got nothing. Nick?
I actually don't have any experience with them, and I was looking at them earlier today and would love to try and get a hold of one of their optics. They're actually based in Kalispell, Montana.
Yeah.
Yep, the town that I moved here from.
It's funny.
Think of optics.
With that town?
Dude, it's
seriously, what the is with Kalispell?
I know, it's like Gunville.
Yeah, tax breaks, a couple of decent-sized companies opened up there, and then everybody followed them.
Yeah, so I have actually tried to get U.S. Optics before and couldn't even get an email returned. So
really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll drive up there, visit my parents, and then drive over and be like, hey, what's up?
You know who I am?
Do you know who I'm Nick Lynch, bruh.
And they'd be like, who?
Yeah, and then I would just leave in shame.
Yeah.
But your beard looks good. Did you finally find a barber?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yep.
I don't mean to answer for him, but yes.
Yeah,
you, his wife.
I mean,
I know.
Or like every man in modern America, you could just, trrim it yourself.
Mm.
Now I know why he's poor. That's not cheap.
No, I mean, I try to do maintenance stuff.
For the record, when I get my haircut, I get my beard trimmed, and they only charge me $6 for a beard trim at Great Clips.
Yeah.
How much is a haircut though? Like 20?
12.
12. Dude, I just went to Great Clips and got all three of my kids' haircuts, and with the tip, it was like $49. Dude,
yeah.
Like, Jesus,
that's not bad at all.
I could do it at home with the clippers, just shave all their heads, it'd be fine.
Now with that Jufro the one's got.
No, he's like, I want my hair really short. I don't want those curls anymore. I'm like, too bad.
Yeah, this is your life now.
Yeah,
give him a bowl cut with the curls.
I'm like, this is all you got going for you, buddy.
Jeremy, have you ever used U.S. Optics?
I have not actually, so I got nothing.
All right, there you go. None of us have used U.S. Optics. Next question, from Brandon D. What would you choose for carry, the SIG P938 or the SIG P365? And I guess before I even answer that, the better question would be, what would you choose for carry, SIG P938 or a tomato, where I would clearly choose the tomato. All right, cool. How
many rounds do you get with that tomato?
None.
Capacity?
It's not a gun. It's a f***ing tomato.
Interesting.
I don't like the 938.
Could I get a Cerakoted the tomato?
Sure, I guess.
Does it have a pick rail?
Nope. It has one leaf.
I like the 365 more, but I don't dislike the 938.
Yeah, so I used to love the 938 and the 238. I thought they were fantastic until I shot them more and just had nothing but problems with everyone I've ever put my hand on, and had tons of students come through. And by tons, I mean like 3 or 4 that had the 938 or the
literal
238.
physical tons.
Yeah,
of their weight.
And they were f***ing awful. I like the 365 a lot. I like the concept of the 938.
The students were awful, or the gun was?
The gun was awful. Like, seriously, just f***ing jam factories on the ones that I've seen. Now, I will say that I actually did spend time with one when I was instructing at one place, and it got shot a lot, and it worked really well. So I guess it's hit or miss, but I don't know. I'd prefer the P365 personally. Way more capacity, much more ergonomic, in my opinion. And Nick, you do like the 365, but you also like the 938. What would you carry?
The 365. No manual safety. It's a slightly safer mechanism, higher capacity. Without actually looking, I assume the 365 is going to be maybe slightly lighter because it's the polymer frame versus the aluminum frame.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Aaron, what do you think?
I've not had a lot of experience with a P938, but I have dropped a SIG 365 and scratched it up. I liked it.
That's so true. Jeremy, could you even shoot a P365?
I mean, I would carry neither of those and go with something that's more of a full frame.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because these would
Or
be
even something with
tiny.
better capacity.
Jeremy, wrap 2 fingers around the grip and fill up the whole thing. It would just be weird for everybody. Nick, why don't you take the next one?
All right. Luke Thighwalker says, how would one walk on their thighs? That's not his question. That's my question.
It's a last name. I don't think it's a...
Well, I mean, the last names, like the last name of Tanner used to be people who tanned hides,
right.
or,
Miller.
Goldstein.
Yeah, Goldstein's steamed gold. They made beer steins.
They made gold steins, I guess.
Yeah. What was the question? I forget.
Okay, so the question is, how would one walk on their thighs?
That is not the question.
Wouldn't it be more like an army crawl? Would that be kind of...
Maybe?
I mean, don't you use your thighs to walk anyways?
You kind of have to, right? 'Cause
maybe.
If you put a tourniquet on your thigh, you can't really walk very well.
Why is Savage considered a communist? Do you think that Savage hates Trump for only the bump stock thing? Also, what are your thoughts on Hudson Manufacturing filing for bankruptcy? Thanks. Love the show. That's 3 big questions all in one there.
Why is Savage considered a communist? I honestly
Because he is one.
Don't know.
I think it just started from Jeremy of him because he votes Democrat.
Actually, I don't think Savage votes Democrat.
Does he not?
Yeah,
I honestly don't think he does.
I think he may have in the past. He hates.
I don't think he voted for Obama.
He hates Trump with a fiery, burning passion. But I don't think he's a communist. Maybe it's just because he's poor and can only afford bread and shoots commie guns and also hates capitalism.
Yeah, I think that's what it boiled down to.
Yeah, I think it's mostly that he hates capitalism.
Yeah. Do we think he hates Trump for only the bump stock thing? No, he has hated Trump since day one. I'm so sick of hearing about Savage's hatred of Trump. And yes, it's just so annoying. I don't even know why. Thoughts on the Hudson Manufacturing filing for bankruptcy? I think it's man. I really wanted them to do well. I kind of enjoy the gun. I think that it was overpriced, but at the same time, I understand that research and development costs money. I don't know. I'm a little bit conflicted on that. I think that the way it all went down kind of sucks. Like they have a lot of people. They have a lot of people's guns that have been sent in for repair because they were breaking at a pretty heavy clip. And now that they are going into bankruptcy, it's very unlikely that those people will ever get their guns back. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, there is an article in the news about Hudson, so maybe we'll just reference it. We'll circle around the wagons and come back to it.
All right, that sounds good. Jeremy, you want to take the next question?
Okay.
Yay.
Ryan F. says, hey guys, 2-part question. I just bought a house where I finally have enough room for a real gun safe, fireproof, waterproof, real steel to deter thieves. Is there any brand or specific safe you recommend, or is just comparing manufacturer specs the best way? This would be an upgrade to a stack-on gun cabinet. Is it worth your opinion?
Worth it, in your opinion?
I don't know what a stack-on gun cabinet is.
It's this thing right here. It's one of those gun cabinets that just lock.
Yeah, it's just it's
brand.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a type.
No. Stack-on is the brand.
It's like cheap.
Yeah, I mean, listen. You can my stack-on I mount to the wall. I mean, it's mounted there, but anyone. I mean, all you need is a crowbar and you're in it. You know, it's just
those things are made. Those things are made for children.
Exactly.
No, they are not made for children.
Well,
like
keep
what?
Children out.
Yeah.
They're made to.
Oh, okay. I was like, what, to put children in the safe? Jeremy, that's not true.
I mean, they're big enough. You could probably fit 2. If they hold
you
their
could
breath.
Probably do that.
Yeah, you could hold a couple kids in there, I guess.
Well, they wouldn't have to hold their breath. You just have to drill some air holes in it or something.
No, I meant if they suck in, you could squeeze more in.
All right.
Oh, I got it.
So real gun safe, he says fireproof, waterproof, real steel deter. Is there any brand or specific case you recommend, or is just comparing manufacturer specs the best way? So the coolest safes I've ever seen are the ones that Jeremy sells at River's Edge Tactical in Valley City, Ohio. And those are Rhino. Jeremy?
Yeah, Rhino safes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rhino safes, the Ironworks series.
They're cool.
Most manufacturers are going to have multiple. They're going to have multiple lines. They're going to have their low end, their high end, their, whatever, what have you. One of the things like, so the Rhinos, I know the Rhino safes because I sell them. So they're mid range. I should say they have three separate lines. They have the Kodiaks, which are imported from China. And they're basically one step above that stack-on cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
They only have a 30-minute fire rating at 1,400 degrees. The next step up from there is their I can't remember the name of the line of it. It's like their mid-grade kind of they're mid-grade safes that don't look like the old-timey West ones. They're more modern-looking with like speckled paint jobs and like that.
Mm-hmm.
Rednecks like speckled paint jobs, so
yeah,
it's like a bass boat.
I like it.
Yeah, and those are 80 minutes at 1,400 degrees. And then they have the Ironworks, and the Ironworks are there's a lower Ironworks and an upper Ironworks, even though they are the top echelon of what they sell. And those are the low end ones are 85 minutes at 1,400 degrees, and the bigger ones are 130 minutes at 1,400 degrees. But those are really expensive. But if your house going to burn.
Yeah. So for me, I've got a Field and Stream safe. It's like the Sportsman. Mine is a 34 gun safe, and it is verified 1,400 degrees for 30 minutes. But like, don't forget that that's a f***ing box, and all that heat is not escaping the box if it's in a fire. So while it won't become penetrable or fail until 30 minutes, the inside of it's going to melt long before that.
No, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. For 30 minutes, the heat won't make it to the inside. There's enough fireproofing in there that the inside won't heat up to a unreasonable temperature for 30 minutes.
Interesting. I was reading something a while back, and I don't know where it was, that talked about those numbers not really mattering in the real world. But I'll defer to Jeremy here.
When you have to like a lot of like somebody's like, oh, I have name a safe company, whatever the it was. And it wasn't Liberty, and I don't want to shit on Liberty without remembering what actual manufacturer it was. And they were like, well, mine's rated for like 115 minutes, and I said, at what temperature? And they go, I don't know. And we went and looked, and it was like 115 minutes at 1,100 degrees.
Yeah. So.
And I'm like, and that's kind of something you got to watch out for. Now, what's the fire rating? What's the time rating at
1,400 degrees?
At what degree?
Yeah.
So my suggestion is get yourself a really good drill. You're going to want preferably like one of those drill presses with the magnetic base.
Are we talking about how to break into a safe?
No, I'm talking about safe selection.
Oh, okay.
Get yourself some high quality drill bits. You're going to need a bunch of them. And then just go to one of the local stores in town that stocks gun safes and just start drilling on them. And whichever one is the hardest to drill into, tell them you want to order one of those. Obviously, you don't want that one because it's got a hole in it now. But have them order one of those for you.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, so mine's a Sportsman's. I got it at Sportsman's Warehouse. I've been pretty happy with it. It's big and it's got good features, and it was pretty inexpensive. I think I paid like $550 for it. And it's decent size, like definitely need more storage, but it's still, it's been good. I know a couple other people that have that one. Liberty safes I've heard really good things about. And I even have stack-on safes in a couple different places as well that they're bolted to the studs. So it would be easier to break the door off than it would to get it away from the wall, I think. But yeah, Aaron, you got the stack on.
Yeah, I roll stack on, but I also have guns that are all over the place in locked areas and couch cushions and stuff. So it's like.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Oh, no, go ahead. Finish what you're saying. I thought he's done.
I'm done.
Oh, I ordered a 54 gun safe.
Nice.
From Rhino. That
damn.
The guy's coming to help me move it next Friday.
That's pretty awesome, man. Let's see. Is there anyone who hasn't read a question yet?
Have you read one?
I have.
I guess it's on me then.
All right.
This one is from Jeremy P. Is that from you, Jeremy?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, it's a weird question.
Question regarding suppressors. I currently have a 9mm MPX and a Beretta M9A3 with threaded barrels. I also have a 45 ACP caliber gun, which may add a threaded barrel into the future. Which I think it was I instead of an O, but which I may add a threaded barrel in the future. Is there a downside to purchasing a 45 ACP size can and just using it on 9mm guns, or is it better to just get one for each caliber? An example, ST Omega 45K.
I don't know, man. For me, I'm like, buy the big.
No.
What was the question? Oh, is there a downside? Yeah, I'm like, get the can that it will fit all your pistols and then use it on everything you can. What do you think?
Yeah,
Nick?
it's literally no. You cannot. You literally cannot discern a difference with your ears.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 decibels usually by changing caps. So, for example, I have a Saker 762 that is a 30 caliber can that I use in all kinds of different stuff. On that, you can shoot a 308 through it, but you can also shoot 5.56 no problem. But you can also screw off the front cap and change it from 308 to 5.56, and it's like 4 decibel difference when you do, or maybe it's even less than that when you do it. So
It's probably less than that.
yeah, probably less. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It's so we have I've actually done it with
A human?
No. So we had a 45 can, and it was a 45 can. We stuck it on a 45, shot some rounds through it, and then I put a 9mm booster in it, and we were shooting 9mm. And the guy was like, "Well, that seems louder," and I said, "It's because you're shooting 115 grain. They're supersonic." So we went and got to 147 grains and threw those in there and shot those next to a 45, and he was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Because 45s naturally just aren't supersonic.
Yeah.
So with the 147 grain 9mm, it was a lot quieter. And he's like, "Oh, now I see." I'm like, yeah, you're getting a supersonic crack out of a 115 grain bullet. And he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yep. And you know what's kind of weird actually is we were shooting the Biddy from Bowers Group up against the USST, and I felt like the Biddy was actually a little bit quieter, which it just like things don't make sense, and it's a lot of perception and the situation and all kinds of stuff.
When we were shooting him with Tom, there is a noticeable difference, and the USS is a little bit quieter, but it's not that much quieter.
Yeah,
compared to the size.
I was shooting the two of them recently, and I was like, they sound so similar to me.
It's a lot different if you shoot it on a pistol.
That makes a lot of sense actually.
We put it on a SR-22. We had put a Biddy and Tom's the bigger 22 that he makes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the USST
I forget what
or USS 22.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So we have both of them. We put it on an SR-22, and there was a noticeable difference on a pistol. On a rifle, no. I'm like, oh, how about that bolt action? That little tiny little. We were pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I compared them in an enclosed space right next to each other on a rifle at 10/22, and they seemed pretty similar. They were both super quiet, pretty cool.
An indoor gun range is about as close as you get to an enclosed space.
Yep. Nick, next.
Okay. Samson H says, "Hey." He must be talking about you guys.
I clearly have one.
I'm leaving.
So
right after prepare. I finish. Right after. No, God, what's wrong with you? Stop sexually harassing me, Sean.
No. I do what I want.
I was wondering if any of you had handled a Colt Python. Is it realistically worth that much more than current production Smith or Ruger? Or is the price just about nostalgia and beauty? Same question about the Anaconda. And then it says Glurp. Jerditer der Fertiker Stoke Boys.
Stroke
Boys.
I don't know what that means. So I have held the Python, and it feels cool, but I don't know. I think it's a nostalgia price personally, or maybe it's just the fact that Colt.
Well,
go ahead.
No, I mean, no, you're wrong,
dude.
It's a better gun. It's a better made gun than a Ruger or a Smith current production models.
Okay.
It is.
Let me finish real quick. So, compared to other Colts, it's even way more expensive than those.
But the price reflects a collector's value. The gun itself is a better gun than a Smith or a Ruger. The reason they're so expensive is because of a collector's value.
Wait a minute. What about the new issue Python?
It's not a Python. There is no new issue Python.
They're making a new.
Yeah.
I think they are making a new.
Yeah, they're
new
making
revolver. It's not a Python.
It most certainly is.
They're calling it a Python.
They're calling it. It's called the Colt Python. I held it in my hand.
No.
Yes.
Isn't it a Python?
I love how everyone's frantically Googling right now.
Well, you Google that. Or is it a Cobra? They are reproducing the snake guns. They're not the same. They don't use interchangeable parts. It is a new design.
Oh, it's the new King Cobra.
You know what?
It's
you know
not
what
a
denotes the
Python.
king for a snake?
I don't know.
It's got a f***ing snake name, but it's not a goddamn Python.
I just assume that all snakes are the same.
To get the snake to be called a king, it actually has to eat other snakes.
Oh,
that's how they get the king moniker. I'm waiting for the
like a king snake.
Yeah, king snake eats other snakes. So I want the Colt Gardner.
Garter.
All right, I stand corrected. It is the King Cobra, confirmed now.
It just shoots blanks.
That's the one I've held.
Sean.
It was still expensive.
Yeah. So the Pythons are really well put together guns. They do tend to be a little bit more delicate than some other guns. But just the quality and like the finishing and the fitting and they are very smooth.
Even the blue jobs that they did on them were world class.
Oh yeah. So yes, they are finer guns. A lot of that price is just the result of collector value. If you're just looking for something to go shoot stuff with, then go buy a GP 100.
The thing I like about a GP, well, I love my GP 100. I have one, and
that's why I said go buy one because they're good guns.
And that's one revolver I have no problem like pistol whipping a bear to death with, and I know it'll still work.
Yeah, right.
Ruger actions are tanks.
Yeah, the Ruger revolvers are so overbuilt and so tough. They do tend to be less refined though. So like the triggers aren't usually as good and the actions aren't as smooth. But you can do some work to them to improve that.
The Smith actions are a little bit more intricate, which means they're smoother and generally feel better in the hand, but they can be easier.
I'm just annoyed that they're going with the snake motif and confusing everybody.
What do you mean confusing?
They're not trying to
the Python.
Well, there was a Cobra before, and I don't know if there was a King Cobra before, but
I don't know.
But they're specifically going with the snake names because people will see that and associate it with the old snake guns,
like me.
Yeah, and well, like all of us.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be shocked if they did come out with a Python here in another year or two.
I'm looking at Gunbroker right now.
Yeah,
they're just there's one for $3,700 right now.
Oh my God.
Now,
I sold a blued Python for a guy on Gunbroker. It was like $2,200, $2,250.
There's one on here, a 3-inch one for $14,000.
There's got to be something special with that one, though.
It's let's see, what is it? Colt Python 357 mag 3-inch blue NIB, new in box, so it's brand new.
Wow, that's why right there.
So, if you don't have the Colt Python cash, there's the Colt Trooper, which is a like the finish isn't as good. It's missing some of the refinement, but it's a very similar operating system. I guess you'd say that the mechanism is very similar, and those are still incredibly nice guns to shoot, and they are a lot more affordable.
Nice.
Well, the pythons were hand built.
That's pretty nuts, man.
Yeah.
14 grand for a new inbox. See, someday, guys, my compensated high point is going to be worth that kind of money.
Ooh.
There's a Colt Trooper MK3 with a Bushnell scope for only $800.
So can we just go back and start talking about the we can actually afford?
So high points.
Yeah.
and Walther Creeds.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Should that do it for the questions?
Yeah.
All right. I think we've covered the questions. If you'd like to submit one, and we've still got a bunch to go, we want more. WeLikeShooting.com/DearWLS is the place to do it. And I guess before we continue on, we'll talk a little bit about our friends over at Bowers Group. So we talked about the Biddy. Nick and I have been shooting the heck out of Bowers Group suppressors lately. We've shot the Biddy, the USS 22. We've shot the Verse 458, the VRS 458. And I got to say that I think that one's my favorite so far, just because it tames that round so well.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can shoot 450 Bushmaster. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's like the diameter of a dime almost.
It's like almost a half inch.
It's ridiculous. And shoots it without hurting our ears at all. Like, not the pucker factor like you generally have. So Tom Bowers has been in the industry for an extremely long time. He's been in suppressors for a really long time. Knows what he's talking about. Whenever I have suppressor questions, he always immediately answers them for me. And I just like having him in our corner. Definitely like supporting companies that have great people at the forefront of them. So go check him out, bowersgroup.com. You know what we're going to shoot next week?
What?
That Verse 30.
Nice.
The 30 cal can. We're going to throw that on a couple and compare it to the Saker 7.62.
So I have a question about cans real quick.
Shoot it.
So when you're waiting on your can, do you get something in the mail, or does the shop that has your can get something in the mail to tell you you've got your stamp?
I believe I don't know, actually. Will you get the stamp, or does the stamp get sent to the SOT?
No, the SOT gets the paperwork sent back to them.
Okay, so then you have to go pick up your stamp from them.
And then they call you and you go pick it up.
Man, any day, I swear, it's just, it's like waiting for that package to arrive.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. I hate waiting.
I do too.
Bowersgroup.com. Check them out. Not guns.
Not guns, not gear, just the gang. Hashtag not guns.
All right, so this is where we talk about stuff that's not guns. And Aaron, what do you have for us today?
All right, this one says, gold is for fools. What do you think will be used as currency when money is no longer a thing? So it's the apocalyptic time, and, there's trading posts out there. What are you going to use? What do you think is going to be the currency of choice? And don't say Bitcoin. Because there is no computers.
What kind of apocalypse happened that there's no computers?
Y2K.
All of them.
So I used to know this girl, right? And she dated this NBA player, and he was buying tons of guns, but he was also buying actual gold just in case. And I'm like gold's worthless, man. I mean, no one's going to want gold. There's nothing you could do with gold. So what do you guys think will be the currency? Will it be like prison where cigarettes become currency?
Yes.
So vices. You think vices will be currency?
Not just vices, but necessities. I mean, like cigarettes, batteries, gas, liquor, condoms.
I don't think condoms will be important.
Oh no, I think they would be, because who wants to knock somebody up? Like, say you're stuck, with your wife or whatever. You don't want to end up having another baby after the apocalypse, right?
That's not true. I need soldiers, man.
Ooh.
Right?
Jeez.
Okay. Well, there might be
clan, man.
There might be a time where you need to wait a while and try to build your little village or whatever, so that you're not delivering a baby under like a rusted out pickup truck in the rain in February.
I like to call it my fiefdom.
Fiefdom.
I don't know, man. So I'm like, why do you need currency? I'm just going to, murder and take what I want.
I mean, sure, until you meet somebody like Jeremy, who's bigger and badder than you.
No, because we go Bangkok rules.
And then Jeremy just,
What, punches me in the stomach? Been there.
Yeah, and takes what he wants from you.
No, he'll never get close to me because I'll have
You know what? I'm going to take that sweet
Yeah.
Currency.
So, yeah.
Okay, that's my currency. Is I just have Sean on a chain with a collar, and I just lead him into the room. And I'm like, I'll give you 5 minutes for 5 gallons of drinking water.
I hate the apocalypse. I'm going to off myself day one. Jesus, this is the worst. The absolute worst. I hate this plan. This is just dumb.
Well,
It's
no one's like looking forward to the apocalypse except Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy is. Now we know what Jeremy's fantasy is. And I'm just over here like,
It's not a fantasy. That's just.
Whoa, what was that close up?
because I was just afraid.
I mean, I'm stockpiling tobacco, liquor, cocaine, and bullets
It makes
in the
sense.
event of an
I
apocalypse.
mean, three out of 4 of those items are probably pretty readily available to you right
Yeah, in Ohio.
Yeah, what do you think I'm doing?
now. So you saw bullets, cocaine, and liquor.
Oh man, yeah, it's kind of a, I don't know.
I mean, liquor and cocaine both have medicinal purposes.
That is true. That is true. I don't know.
Liquor and cocaine both. You got to get the away. Hit a line, man. Start running. It's going to give you some pep. I'm not saying it's healthy, but if about to kick off, I'll take what I can get. Amphetamines, all that kind of.
Oh, I'm stocked up.
Oh yeah, the weight loss and cheating.
Yeah. Hey, does cocaine have a shelf life?
I don't know.
Will it go bad eventually?
If it gets wet, yes.
Or like
Okay,
bugs get in it.
Won't it just turn into crack if it gets wet?
I think you got to boil it and reduce it to make it crack.
Huh.
I don't know how you make crack. I don't need crack. I need cocaine for pain management, blood clotting, and staying awake on watch nights.
Wait, cocaine is a blood clotter?
Yes, and it will reduce pain.
I had no idea.
I mean,
Like I
reduced
said,
pain makes sense, but
I was just going to grow a bunch of aspen trees and then make aspirin, but
yeah, I was just
Spring tree.
yeah.
I was just going to steal everyone else's stuff, but now that Jeremy's going to try to use me as currency, or Nick's going to try to use me as currency.
Willow bark.
No,
was
aspen.
it sheep have lanolin on their ears that you could use?
I mean, you're going to use sheep for other things, probably.
Well, yeah. I mean,
If I haven't seen hey, there's a rule. If you haven't had sex in 6 months, you are not responsible for what you sleep with.
What? A dude?
That's a rule.
I think that's a rule you just made up.
Yeah. I thought.
I'm not saying I'm going that route. I'm saying if it's been longer than 6 months since you got any, you are not responsible for what you.
Whew. Well, I guess you're in luck then, Sean.
Yeah, Jesus. When the apocalypse happens, I was going to be well prepared, and I was like, I'm going to ride it out. Now, nope, eat a bullet. Day one.
just go suck start in a gun.
Yeah. Like,
Wow.
I don't want.
That's really long.
I don't want Jeremy anywhere near my Tinder.
There was a kid in the army.
Let's be honest,
and he
Sean.
tied
It's not
back
that tender.
He tied back the trigger on a 249 saw, right, with a bootlace, and he stuck it in his mouth and just kick-started the charging handle.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, that's depressing. Anyway, Aaron, what do you think is going to be the currency? I hate this.
It's well established now. Start printing it on dollar bills now. I mean, we should just become used to it.
Whole bills. The tighter the hole, the more bills it's worth.
That will do.
So like a 1 is worth more than a 5.
Let's move on to talk about rubber dummies. We just released a video today about the new rubber dummies. I don't know if you've seen them, but the new ones are the version 2.0 are deeper. So same mold, just deeper. So you can do profile stuff with them. You can turn them sideways.
Wait, are we still?
What?
So wait, are we still talking about your hole?
No, we're talking about rubber dummies. So
Speaking of rubber dummies,
they've got the side profile on the version 2.0. Those are pretty freaking awesome. We actually shot them and didn't see a whole lot of material coming out the back, which we would expect because it's more dense. What we did see is that the 380 Easy wouldn't go all the way through the heads when shot point blank.
You know, that's what I was going to say. When I was doing some editing on some of the videos, that was excluded from the video because there was no spot to put it.
Yeah, I mean, it was like we did it kind of after everything else was done, but it
was really interesting to see it. To be honest with you,
it was. And when we shot, they all went through when we shot normally, but it was just when Nick walked up and assassinated the rubber dummies from literally like an inch away that it didn't go all the way through. Just not enough time to build enough velocity or whatever, I guess.
You know, rubber dummies,
It's not.
while awesome, may not be great currency after the apocalypse because they would get kind of heavy after a while. You can only carry like 1, maybe 2.
What were you going to say, Jeremy?
It wouldn't build any more velocity once it left the barrel.
Or energy?
velocity.
Like, I don't understand because when we clearly shot it through there 100 times from 21 feet away with no problem, but every single one that he shot point blank didn't go all the way through.
Maybe he was hitting a part where it was thicker. I mean, were you guys shooting in the body at 21 feet?
It was actually hitting an area where it was thinner. Yeah.
Yep.
Almost all of them hit the pocket where you can put the blood pack.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just the fully formed.
And
bullet.
on all of them, it was just the bullet sticking through a little bit on the other side.
We didn't understand that at all, and it was definitely odd. But anyway, those are awesome, and also the new stands. So the new stands are actually just 2 plates. One goes on the rubber dummy, one goes on the ground. Then you put a 2x4 in it, so you can have them any height. You can change heights. We actually had one that was like Shaquille O'Neal sized. It was like literally like 8 feet tall because we had a huge 2x4, and we're like, hey, f- it, whatever. And it was awesome. No, they were not hollow points. They were Full Metal Jacket. And so, yeah, I love the new stands, love the new dummy 2.0s, rubberdummies.com. Coupon code WLS gets you 10% off. And now it's time for, oops, not that, this. Excuse me. I'm just reading comments everywhere, and it's awful. This is industry news.
Oh, your hole?
Pretty much. That'll do. I think we've covered that topic enough.
Are you sure?
I am sure, yes. And I mean,
Really?
I don't want to talk about any other holes for the rest of the show. I think we've done enough here. Next segment is industry news. What do you got for us, Aaron?
I got some sad news. We'll start off with some sad news here. One of my favorite shows, I'm sure yours as well, Discovery Channel is canceling Master of Arms with our buddy Zeke Stout on there.
Oh yeah.
That's too bad.
That does suck, man. It's been like over for a while. They waited quite a while to do it.
Yeah, I like that show. I thought it was really creative.
Did they cancel it because of this guy's top hat?
Probably.
They're like,
The
dude,
steampunk guy.
you gotta stop with the top hat. And he was like, no. And they were like, okay, we have to cancel it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
you're done. Bye. So yeah, I didn't watch a whole lot because I do not like reality television at all. Like not even a little bit. So I watched an episode, maybe 2 episodes in support of Zeke, and it was decent. It is sad though. Like that sucks. I really like Zeke, and I want him to do awesome things.
I concur completely.
Yeah, sad day. So Master of Arms has been canceled March 27th, 2019. Maybe they'll bring it back on Netflix.
Ooh, they do. You know what? Yeah.
Next
maybe
story.
maybe Amazon Prime will buy it.
There you go. That could happen too.
Yeah.
Next story.
Not completely dead yet. Okay, we were talking about this earlier. It's the Hudson. So one of Hudson's many creditors, I guess there's like 18 pages of creditors that they owe money to, was a company that built their slides and their frames for them.
Oh yeah, KE
now-
Arms.
Yeah, and now they just have stockpiles of frames and slides. So they're like, oh, maybe we can start making small parts and putting these things together on our own. So or at least selling support pieces for people who are current Hudson owners. So the Hudson may be dead, or the KE Arms might just start producing their own.
That's kind of interesting. I wonder what kind of legal liability there is for that.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if somebody buys all the Hudson designs and then KE Arms starts manufacturing small parts and selling them.
Well, let's be perfectly honest. U.S. Palm shut down their operations. Century bought something, but not even the rights to do that. And then someone, let's see, who was it? I'm drawing a blank. We just had him on the show. Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank too.
X-Tech, maybe?
A break?
Oh, yeah. The guy who made the grips that I love.
Yeah. So
X-Tech.
he started making like magazines that had a waffle pattern, but were clearly not copies or anything else. And then Century sued them. So now I'm wondering, okay, yeah, someone may buy Hudson's IP or something, give them like $50 or whatever it happens to be, and then come after KE Arms for making parts for their intellectual property that they purchased. Because I'm pretty sure I remember I don't know, maybe Hudson, did they have patents? I thought they had a patent on something. So
I mean, they built everything on a PowerPoint, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. This is interesting. I am curious. I think it'll be awesome if KE Arms can actually get these parts made to fix people's guns. But the big problem is that all these people that sent their guns in to have them fixed by Hudson and now no longer have a gun, and no one answers the phone in months and months and months, or answers an email, or is sending parts back or anything like that. I think those people might just be 100% out of it. I think they bought a gun and they get nothing.
I would rage. I mean, that's over $1,000, man.
Yeah.
But just look at the creditors. 18 pages of creditors. How does that even happen? Who's on that list?
I don't know, man. Yeah. It's kind of shitty. I feel bad for the people who bought them and then sent them back for repair and just ended up with dust.
That's what I fart these days.
Yeah. But hopefully KE Arms can do this and make it right for those people. Now I kind of wish I'd bought one the other day.
Yeah, you still can.
I'm over it.
All right, so lawmakers say banks can't set policy. Or they're trying to say that. They're trying to pass a bill which will state basically that you are a bank and you cannot say, like, I won't accept money from people who sell bump stocks, or I won't accept money from people who sell guns. So because banks have started doing that, and now they're trying to say, no, that won't happen.
Yeah, and a lot of this comes from Chokehold, Operation Chokehold, initiated by the Obama administration, kind of making it harder for gun companies to do business. And man, I don't know if this has a big chance, but I really hope so. Like, I never want more laws, but if we can force these shitheads from taking it out on something that's 100% legal, protected by the Constitution, like,
I mean, this kind of goes back to the gay wedding cake thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, if the bank is a private financial institution and they don't want to deal with a certain type of people or business or whatever, then I think they should be able to.
All right, that's fair. I think you may have swayed me.
He's not wrong, but there comes a point when how many options do you really have as like if you're Smith or Springfield or Colt or Glock or name some huge fucking conglomerate. You don't have a choice to go to like a local bank branch. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And if all of them are going to ban you for this.
Well, I think that all of them will not, and there have also been programs put in place specifically for firearms companies. And I think this is an issue of letting the market take care of it. I mean, even if the options are few, I think there will always be options.
I think you're missing the bigger point here in regards to stating the Baker issue. Mm-hmm. The Baker is a privately owned company, right?
So are most
banks. Are federally regulated.
They're federally
but they're not federally
insured.
owned.
And regulated. There's regulators that are the federal government that regulate banks to make sure they're not doing things incorrectly or wrong.
They're making sure they're not doing things illegally. I mean, Jeremy is federally regulated.
Right.
But he shouldn't be told that he has to sell a gun to someone that he doesn't feel comfortable selling a gun to.
Actually, I have one of the few jobs where it's actually federally mandated. I have the ability to tell anybody to f*** off.
Right, but exactly. But I mean, federal regulation or oversight does not equal federal ownership in any way.
It represents that they're regulated and they have to follow, different laws than someone who owns a private business. So.
Now, pretty much everything's regulated, right? We have OSHA, we have like food inspectors, and
are we regulated by the federal government? We're a company.
Let's see. No, I guess not.
Okay.
I mean, a bakery is regulated, though. I mean, they still have to meet health codes, and they have inspections, and if they don't meet those standards, they'll
they're
get shut down.
federally regulated. They're locally regulated.
Yeah, they're usually like county or state.
But on one hand, the government's job is to make sure that people don't infringe on the rights of other people. On the other hand, they f that up every time they try by making it more totalitarian when they do it. So I don't know if I agree with it from a morals, from a free market sense, but I like it from a like you're being stop.
What about this? What about? Oh, sorry, Jeremy, I didn't mean to interrupt. What about? I thought you were done, and you cut out, and then I talked over you.
All right.
What about this? What about the government doesn't tell them what they can and cannot do, but if the government does put in a law that basically says if you don't allow every business to do business with you, then you cannot get FDIC insurance.
Like that, I'd be fine with.
I'd still disagree with that because then you're still punishing them for what they may believe.
You're not punishing them; you're giving them a choice.
Well, no, that's a punishment.
What about let's spin this a little bit, guys. What about if I go to a pharmacy and I want to get some birth control for my wife, and the pharmacist says, I don't believe in birth control, you can't have it.
That's fine.
You think it's okay if I go to a CVS or a Rite Aid or
just
Walgreens?
Go to another one.
Yeah, go to one that's not owned by a Catholic.
See, I disagree. If you can't do the job, then don't do it. If you're a bank and you can't lend
that's not part of it.
What?
It's not part of the job.
Yeah.
It's not part of the job. Like I said, from a free market standpoint, I'm very okay with anybody who owns a business saying, you, I don't want to play with this. I don't like that it was done so underhanded and through the back door by Bloomberg and those
President Obama.
That's more the part that, that's the part that pisses me off. But because it wasn't done of their own accord. Banks like money. Banks like to make money. The firearms industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry every year, and banks like money. So,
yeah. In fact, you could say it's their business.
Their money is their business. So, from that standpoint, they would have never done that from a business standpoint because they stand to lose too much money. So, somebody wanted to start another, as long as it's possible to just start another bank that's that big, because you're talking about companies that require loans in the hundreds of millions when they open new plants or run new lines and retooling and stuff like that. These guys run on a revolving credit of millions of dollars, if not tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. And you can't run down to the local credit union to get that kind of cash. And if all the federal banks that are big enough are all like, we won't deal with guns, it's a de facto way to put them all out of business, or at least to cap the industry at a certain size.
I don't know that that's realistic, though, that every bank is going to say, no, we're not going to deal with guns, because at some point there's going to be one of those banks who looks at it and they're like, we are the only people that will deal with this, multi-billion-dollar industry or whatever it is.
Then you have a problem with competition. If nobody else will deal with you, and I will, now I can jack my rates up. I can cut your interest rates down. I can really f with you because I'm the only one that will handle your money. Yeah. That's where the problem comes in.
Well, yeah, but that's a thing called capitalism, and the idea is that other people will see opportunity.
That's not capitalism.
No, the idea is that other people will see the opportunity there and compete, and a healthy system will develop. Think how hard it is to open.
Yeah.
Think how opening a bakery for $10,000 and some kitchen equipment.
Oh, I agree.
Versus opening up a bank, trillions of dollars.
Yeah, I don't know that there's
that's the difference.
Yeah, I don't know that how much.
If they get all talk except one, that's where it's not capitalism anymore.
I agree with Jeremy.
It stopped being capitalism as soon as the president said, "Don't deal with gun industry."
Yeah, I agree with Jeremy. I think Nick has a great point.
Not right, but I don't think this is right either.
Yeah. I'm
Thanks for
really.
leaving me off the list there, buddy.
Wait, what did you say?
I don't remember.
Exactly. Shut
Trial by combat.
The banks are federally regulated, and so the federal government should be able to tell them who they can and can't do business with.
Yeah.
I mean, we tell the federal government runs the environment, basically. They tell companies what they can and can't do with the environment.
That's true.
I would argue that's different, though.
Why?
Because what companies use or don't use, or how they affect the environment, affects everyone around them, not just people that they don't want to do business with.
Yeah, but the Constitution affects everyone in the entire United States.
Okay.
And the Second Amendment is part of that Constitution.
Yeah.
Bill of Rights.
Well, the Bill of Rights is part of the
Constitution. It's just the first.
But I mean, so is the freedom of speech, and so is like the freedom of religion. But if I get up and say a bunch of horribly racist stuff, and then companies decide, hey, we don't want to deal with that guy because he said a bunch of horribly racist stuff, and if people see him in here, they might think that we support him. That's totally their right.
Well, I'm trying to figure out. I think you're conflating the.
Well, no, you're talking about how rights affect everyone in the country.
But there's a difference between supporting someone in sense of giving them like advertising versus. Are you talking about advertising?
I'm just talking about using the services of a business.
So you're saying if I walk around, you're basically saying a lot of people who are white supremacist or racist or whatever. Banks choose not to service them?
I'm just talking about businesses in general.
But you're not being very specific. I'm asking.
I'm intentionally being unspecific.
Do you think that?
I think any business that is privately owned should have the right to deny service to anyone for pretty much any reason.
Yeah,
even if those are horrible, bigoted reasons, it's their business. It's their right.
I agree. I guess the real question here is, do banks kind of fall under that, or is it so federally regulated and controlled that maybe it is a public service or something like that? I don't know.
Just one more question in this regards. Can the government come in and shut down a bakery for the same way it can come in and shut down a bank?
For mishandling money? Absolutely.
Well, I'm not talking about mishandling money, though, because banks can't. But the federal government can come in and basically say this bank is no longer a bank. They can't come in and say this bakery is no longer a bakery.
They can lock the doors.
They can.
Health department and all that.
Those are local municipalities, not federal.
I don't know.
Is there a difference?
Yes, there is.
All right. I think we've explored that one.
To death.
Say again.
Beat this horse to death.
Yeah, we have, but I think everyone's has some pretty good points, honestly. What is the next story?
This one, we're going to end on a good note. Okay, they want to reclassify older guns. So right now, what's considered a relic was something built in the 1800s, late 1800s, and that's a relic.
A curio and relic.
Right. So, and you need, so you don't need an FFL to purchase one of these items. What they want to do is reclassify that.
You need a curio and relic. What is it? A license? A CNR license?
Well, there's a CNR FFL, which you can get as a private collector.
Yeah, but is this stuff that's not even covered under that? It's even older than that, or?
From what I understand,
there's a definition that basically, if it's made before this date, it's considered not a firearm.
Okay, so you can
1899.
All right, so this is exactly that. So anything older than that, you do have to get a CNR.
Yeah, it's no longer. It's not even considered a curio or relic. It's just an antique firearm.
I'm in.
So okay, so what they want to do is they want to change it to 100 years, starting with this year. So you go back 100 years, and anything built 100 years prior would be just considered antique, and you don't need an FL, like a classic 1911s. Yeah. And they want it to be a moving date, so whenever no matter what year it is, 100 years from that date.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm down with it. I think great, good job, guys. Let's get this one through.
Totally. I wonder. Let's see. This has been introduced into the Senate. Huh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know that it'll go anywhere, but Hopefully it does. That would be pretty damn
It'll
cool.
never make it through the House. Why didn't they introduce all this last year?
I know.
The year before.
I know.
Like,
Stupid.
What's interesting is it's introduced to the committee, the Senate committee.
No, you know why they didn't do it, right? You know why they didn't introduce all this when it would have actually passed? Because they just wanted to make it seem like they're trying when they know it won't go through. But they could have all pushed. They could have pushed through the HPA, constitutional carry or federal carry,
national reciprocity.
Federal reciprocity. Yeah, national reciprocity. The HPA. They could have pushed all this through. They could have pushed every single one of it through, and they didn't because they're like, oh, if the Dems win, then we can just virtue signal, and be like, oh, look, we're trying, guys. But we're sorry because the Democrats won't let us do it. Little need to grow some and actually pass some that we actually want. The whole reason that's why the get voted back in because you us. You us while you had the chance to not us, but you chose to us. Pieces of
Tell us how you really feel.
No, I think he just did. I think we're good.
So
no,
if
totally
they don't
agree.
do that, if they don't us within 6 months, is it okay? It doesn't matter who they after that.
Oh, all right, guys, that'll do it. Thank you for that tirade. I actually 100% agree. Love WLS as a place you can go. There's 4 things you can do there. You can become a rooftopper, share links to your favorite show. Every time someone clicks on that link, you get points. The points turn into swag. You can become a Patreon, get access to our whiny ass Patreon Facebook group. And, you know, we're about to relaunch and do a lot of cool stuff. So there's going to be some cool stuff there. You can, you could buy shirts and hats like I'm wearing. And
heck yeah.
Just me tonight. Okay, got it. That's cool.
What does Nick have underneath the... Oh, he's got a Patreon.
Yeah, Patriot Patch Company, which is also awesome. And last but not least, what is last but not least? Oh, yeah, you can find our advertisers, links to their websites, and all their coupon codes so you can save money, which is definitely important in these days and times. We always recommend joining a gun-related advocacy group such as Second Amendment Foundation, Gun Owners of America, Firearms Policy Coalition, and the NRA, and giving money to the NRA ILA. Don't forget, March 27th right now, if you were not a member of the Firearms Policy Foundation and you still kept your bump stocks, you're a felon. There is a stay in place right now. And if you are a member of FPF, that stay will apply to you as a bona fide member. Just FYI. We always give out the suicide prevention line. That number is 1-800-273-8255, 1-800-273-TALK, or you can text a message to Aaron.
741-741. Next time you ask me that, I'm just going to give him your phone number because you keep saying mine.
I'm going to stab you. I didn't give your number.
No, but you want me to.
No.
You're trying to trick me into it. Aaron.
What?
You should text Aaron. What's the number, Aaron?
I'm trying to include you.
248-4... What? You know. No,
495.
741.
All right, guys. We're here live every single week on Monday and Wednesday, and we're on demand every day. Go to WeLikeShooting.com/show to subscribe. And as we always say, okay, off. As we always say, thanks for listening. Get some medical training and Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets.
Did you write that?
I did. I was at the grocery store today, and Karen's like, I want some Hot Pockets. I'm like, nope. No, dude. What?
You want hot lava in your mouth? Are you a gay?
Yeah.
Are you a gay dinosaur?
You like fish sticks?
No.
Yeah. It was a good show. Jeremy, I totally agree with what you had to say about the Senate, man. That was pretty prolific.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
God, it makes me want to just taser skulls him with a sledgehammer.
Oh, don't.
Jam.
I didn't say I was gonna. I said it makes me want to.
Yeah. That's a terrible idea.
Highly unrecommended.
Oh, I think it's a great idea.
Did you think that show was worth $1? Help the cast by visiting lovewls.com.